Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped you're here. Today, I'm stepping in as your conscience, not just your tutor. We're going to completely transform your mindset and start treating your education like an elite training camp. If you're a college student who's currently battling academic burnout or just feeling totally overwhelmed by the sheer volume of your coursework, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to train you to become an elite academic athlete. But to do that, we need to establish an intense, high-stakes mindset right out of the gate. As the source material bluntly puts it, I'm not your coach right now, I'm your conscience. Think about it. A coach might give you a nice pat on the back, but your conscience? Your conscience demands the absolute truth. This is all about obliterating those excuses that are holding you back and stopping the whole comparison game cold. We're here to train for greatness. So, here's our rigorous training syllabus for today. First, the elite academic athlete mindset. Second, destroying excuses and procrastination. Third, morning routines and physical habits. Fourth, high-intensity weekly study blocks. Fifth, using pain for mental strength. And finally, making choices to become legendary. Let's get right to work. Okay, Section 1, the elite academic athlete mindset. Look, you have to realize that just getting accepted into college, showing up to lectures, buying those crazy expensive textbooks, that is literally just the baseline. I mean, everybody does that. The real test here is entirely mental. You probably already have the skill part down. You're living the dream, you've got mentors, you bought the books, and you're doing the basic daily practice. But consider the other half of the equation, your will. If you're failing or feeling completely burnt out right now, it isn't because of a lack of skill. Your will is what's being tested. Will is that fierce, undeniable mindset you desperately need when you feel stuck, when it feels like you aren't making any progress, and when every single fiber of your being just wants to quit. Moving on to Section 2, destroying excuses and procrastination. Listen, we are generationally wired to absolutely love convenience. We would rather use a delivery app for a 3-block walk than just cook a meal, right? And honestly, it's incredibly convenient to just make an excuse rather than put in the grueling work. The sources highlight how students constantly fall into the trap of using what they call cosmetic excuses to mask their procrastination. You know exactly what these are: comparing yourself to someone else's looks or their success story, complaining about lacking money or resources, blaming your parents for not being around, or blaming coaches for a lack of highlights. We pull these excuses over ourselves like a warm, comfortable blanket. And why do we do that? To cover up the real cancer underneath. And that cancer is the terrifying fear that if we strip away all those excuses and give our absolute best, well, our best still might not be good enough. You literally have to be stronger than your excuses to break this cycle. To do that, we need a massive daily perspective shift to TGIA, which stands for Thank God I'm Alive. The sources demand that we completely reject the whole Thank God It's Friday mentality. Seriously, think about it. Why are you thanking God it's Friday? Are you celebrating just because you're about to clock out, quit, and mentally do absolutely nothing for the next 2 days? Elite academic athletes don't clock out on their future just because the calendar happens to say Friday. Every single day is an opportunity to outwork the competition. All right, Section 3, morning routines and physical habits. Here is a hard truth from our sources. Information and ideas alone do not transform a person. I mean, if simply reading books was enough, everyone would be a billionaire genius. To actually overcome academic hurdles and beat burnout, you have to physically build daily intensity through strict, non-negotiable routines. So here are 3 morning habits for immediate focus. 1. Visualize your ideal life. Get crystal clear on what it is you are actually seeking. 2. Mentally transform via affirmations and meditation to literally rewire your character from the inside out. 3. Wake up at 4 or 5:30 in the morning to tackle your hardest work. Before the sun even comes up, while all your peers are sleeping, you need to be hitting the books with the exact same dedication as an elite track athlete hitting the pavement. But hey, the intensity doesn't stop when the sun comes up. Here are 3 concrete physical habits for building that daily grit. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Work straight through your lunch break. And push past climate comfort. Meaning, if you're hot, roll the window down instead of turning on the AC. If you're cold, force yourself to work a little longer anyway. These examples purposely strip away your comfort. By deliberately making yourself physically uncomfortable in these small ways, you build the intense mental stamina you need to conquer massive academic burnout. Next up, Section 4, high-intensity weekly study blocks. Let's talk about your schedule. A lot of students seem to think that mere consistency is enough to secure that college scholarship or ace those impossible exams. But consistency simply means you do something. Intensity is how you do it. Notice the difference here between an amateur and a legendary schedule. Amateurs are disciplined, well, maybe once a week. They're enthusiastic on a Sunday or a Wednesday, and they're basically just casually dating the idea of success. But a legendary schedule, that requires intense, daily effort and what the source calls a daily marriage mentality. You aren't just dating success, you are fully married to it. You have to be willing to lose sleep and skip meals to truly master these high-intensity study blocks. Now, how do you implement this kind of intensity without completely burning out? You use the 90 days of tiny wins system. Step 1, start small to completely revamp your character. Step 2, secure daily tiny wins. You need to meticulously track your daily effort over your excuses. Step 3, use this newly developed character tool to attack your more advanced academic goals. After 90 solid days of this rigorous, step-by-step system, you're going to transform into the type of student who can get absolutely anything done at any time. Which brings us to Section 5, use in pain for mental strength. Let's be real for a second. You are going to face hardship. It's inevitable. You will fail a test, you'll miss a deadline, or you'll lose out on a big opportunity. But an elite academic athlete doesn't view these moments as dead ends. No, they reframe these harsh realities as purposeful tools placed there specifically for their long-term growth. Think of it exactly like lifting weights. Going out and forcing yourself to face the ugliness, the failure, and the hardship head-on, that is the catabolic state. Just like lifting heavy weights intentionally tears your muscle fibers, a failed exam tears your mental comfort. But that pain, it's absolutely required to reach the anabolic state, the resulting growth and the much stronger version of yourself that emerges on the other side. Because really, a failure on Monday only exists if you decide not to progress and learn from it by Tuesday. You can get knocked down 10 times. You can completely bomb a presentation. But to an academic athlete, getting knocked down isn't a failure unless you actually decide to stay down and quit. The pain is literally just data to make you better. Finally, Section 6, making choices to become legendary. We are driving this whole explainer toward the ultimate choice, your legacy. Think about the unrelenting work ethic of an 18-year-old elite basketball rookie, like the one described in our sources, who steps into the professional league demanding the ball, challenging the seasoned veterans, and refusing to back down because their insane work ethic backs it up. That is the ferocious, legendary energy you have to bring to your academics. As high school English teacher Mr. Fisk so perfectly advises, rest at the end, not in the middle. Look, you might be exhausted right now. You might be staring down the barrel of severe midterm burnout. But you cannot rest in the middle of the semester. You do not rest until that degree is firmly in your hand and the job is entirely done. So here's the big provocative question I want to leave you with today. Will you make choices that just get you remembered, or will you make choices that make you a legend? Are you just putting in the bare minimum to get a piece of paper, or are you studying with such absolute, relentless intensity that you permanently change your family, your environment, and your world? The choice is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Now get out there and start building that legendary schedule.